Destiny finally came out yesterday, and we had a bunch of GameSpot editors playing it all day long. Something stupid like 15 hours. Here are 3 of them. Mary Kish, Eric Tay, Chris Waters.
Hey.
Let's talk about first impressions. It's been a day. The review in progress on went up on GameSpot today. Kevin Van Ort's full review is going to be up later in the week. There's a video review going up in a couple of minutes as well. But first of all, you guys' first impressions on it. You played for a lot of time yesterday. Like each of you played for about 6 hours each, is that right?
9.
9?
Yeah.
How long
6 for me.
Okay.
6.
As well. All right, first impressions right out the gate.
It feels to me like Destiny would be like the hottest thing, like so revolutionary if I hadn't played, if I didn't know about its predecessors. If I hadn't played a bunch of Halo, a bunch of Borderlands, a bunch of other first-person shooters. If I was someone who was like, hey, next-gen console seems kind of cool. What can I play on it? Oh, shooter's neat. Destiny is one I see on the buses. It's cool. Let me play it. Like, it does a lot of stuff in like a very polished, very well-executed way. But it doesn't really get exciting for, I feel like for me, until well into the game. Until like hours into it.
Because of difficulty, or just because
difficulty is a part of it? You know, difficulty is definitely a part. Like when we were taking on in the towards the end, we were playing very hard. It was like a few levels. Enemies were a few levels above our level. We had to use all our weapons. We had to use our abilities. We had to be nimble. We had to support each other.
Yeah,
we
to
had
work as a team.
Yeah, like all that stuff started clicking. But before that, wasn't really happening. So I feel like that run up, for me, it's like, it's kind of like going through the motions. The gear you get is not exciting. The enemies you're facing are kind of pushovers. But if you're, if this is your first kind of experience in this kind of game, then I think that run up is good. Like I think people need that. Yeah. So I feel like that's sort of where how they've calibrated it.
Mary, you played a lot of Borderlands, right?
Yeah, I loved Borderlands, especially the second one. Played the crap out of it.
I remember when you were playing yesterday, one of the things that you were giving out about, which I actually hadn't even considered, is that the drops off the bosses and stuff are kind of lame.
They are. This is something like I constantly compare it to Borderlands because that's the easiest comparison to make for me, and what makes it fun are the people that you play with. You have so much fun playing with your friends, and you enjoy taking down these massive bosses and losing. You honestly have a really good time trying again, changing up your weapons and trying a different tactic. But the reward in Borderlands is always the bigger the boss, the better the drop. Now sometimes, even in Borderlands, because they are randomized, right? Sometimes you don't get a good drop, and it pisses you off because you work really hard for that drop. I want to see a good gun. More often than not, though, you do get rewarded for that. Not so much in Destiny. You pretty much don't get drops from the bosses besides like ammo. You find chests sometimes after the drops, but you got to be really quick because after you like achieve your goal, you get like what 25 seconds to like run around and like see any crates and hope that you get the
within a story mission. Because
the mission kind of it says like mission complete.
It sends you back. No, you can go back later and find the same chest, and that happened to me. I opened the chest like right as my 30 seconds was up.
You were like, I've got it.
It faded black, and I didn't get my piece. That really sucks. But like, you can go back to it. But I would have loved to see more drops. To me, that is a part of what makes that style of game so enjoyable is I want to see the next gun. I have a sweet gun, I love it, now I want the next one. You get gun crazy. That's kind of what's so interesting about that. I find myself to be gun crazy when I play them.
This is the footage they'll play back on the news when you eventually go on a rampage.
She was such a nice girl.
Tay, you actually completed the main story stuff this morning, right?
Yeah, I finished it this morning. There's still like one other story quest that I have to do, but I guess that was like the actual like last level for story.
No spoilers, but
yeah, no spoilers.
What did you think about how it wrapped up, as it were?
I mean,
it doesn't wrap up even.
It's kind of like a movie, right? It doesn't really ever end, right? So
movies end, Eric.
Well, okay, fine.
Not the end, not the ever-ending story.
Those movies with trilogies and whatnot. They always find a way to loop it back around and like, okay, there's more to explore. And for me personally, going through the motions of playing the whole like up to now, I would say the beginning part, like Chris said, it's kind of just like, this is kind of tedious a little bit. Maybe because we play beta too, I don't know.
Yeah.
But once I started getting like further along, and even for yourself, it's like some of the missions get a bit harder. You guys have to do more tactical stuff together. And in terms of the guns, I don't want to spoil too much, but it looks like there's possibly more interesting types of weapons in the future that we haven't really seen yet. Hopefully, I'm not blowing that out of proportion, but for me, I have like one new thing that is like totally kind of, not totally, but it's different from what we've seen from that first part of it, like up until yesterday. So, and that made me excited. So I'm also curious about all the raids, the end game stuff, like because that's when the game starts, right?
Yeah,
so,
they kept saying that, right? It like starts at level 20. What level were you by the time you finished?
I was 17. No, I was right about to tip to 17. So I was 16.
Oh,
the mission was about 18.
We weren't that far off then. We felt doing the stream yesterday.
Yeah.
Did anyone play on their own?
I did.
At any stage? You did?
I did last night.
How did you find playing it on your own?
So it's interesting because it's easier, obviously. There's less mobs. There's less for you to deal with.
Okay.
However, you're punished more if you die. There's no one to resurrect you.
Right,
so
of
you
course.
start all over. That happened to me a couple times a day where I just got a little too greedy, a little bit too overzealous, and I was just like, I'm going to punch this guy. I was like, nope, he punched me and I died. And I was like 40% through that mission.
You
it's
got
like
cocky.
Yeah, it's like start all over because there's no one else to
That's
resurrect
the
you.
Eric Tay way.
Yeah, it bumps you back to the sort of beginning of the area
checkpoint.
that's like, resurrecting limited, right? That stuff that sort of kicks in when you know you're entering a sort of an action stretch. Can we talk about one thing we haven't really touched on so far? This game looks so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh
looks
my
great.
gosh,
It is beautiful,
yeah.
and going to different planets and like different environments and just like exploring. It was something we actually didn't end up taking a lot of time to do on the stream yesterday because we were kind of like, go, see new stuff, get level up. Like taking the time to just kind of like look at skyboxes, look at the corridors you're going through to get to the boss. And like today, I was going through one that was like this caves with these glowing crystals and like this flowing, shimmering water that was kind of this strange color. And then I got closer to where the boss was, and there were these piles of bones, like thousands of bones. Holy crap! What the hell? Like thousands of bones? Oh my god! Like it's a gorgeous game. So that is.
I think that's
that
one
definitely
thing that
helps.
nobody argues with, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's all these people saying it sucks or it's amazing, it's the best game. One thing that people really don't argue with is it is a beautiful game. They've done a tremendous job with the environments, with the weather. It sprinkles down on
I
these.
feel like this at least hits the bar the next game should be hitting. Like I don't find this to be
Next-gen games?
Sorry,
Yeah.
next gen games. I don't find this to be any more beautiful than something like Infamous Second Son. The one thing that stuck out for me is, regardless of the fact that it does look good and the skyboxes and all that stuff look great, the actual worlds, the places themselves, I found kind of soulless. And Kevin said as much in his early review in progress. Yeah, like these places feel like instances rather than actual places, which I found a little bit disappointing.
I feel like I think there's a way to play a game, and there's a way for a game to encourage you to play that allows you to sort of sit down in the world a little bit. So for example, what we're seeing now is on Venus doing patrol. So you just pick up a mission and that you're in a certain area, doing a bunch of stuff, fighting a bunch of enemies. So it encourages you to stay in that given area and like do different things here and there, like focus on different stuff, and you can take some time to sort of look around a little bit more. That said, the story is a little scant.
Yeah.
I think, and the storytelling, like it feels to me like the mythology's there, and there's some like really interesting pieces, but they don't really come alive and tie together through the storytelling as I've experienced it myself thus far.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, Bungie to me, like I was never too wrapped up in the Halo mythos either, but at least those games never really took themselves too seriously. I feel like this is maybe like diving into its mythos a bit more, but it's just kind of lame. I don't know. Like the story stuff, I don't think is particularly interesting whatsoever. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about maybe the story kind of really reaching, right? Because you have these heavy sci-fi moments where they're saying something really important, like, this looks like it could be really bad, but it's not saying it in a sarcastic tone. They're being genuine, but you almost want to laugh because those are like very kitschy sci-fi things that you see. They're cliche, but you forgive games in that sense from it. Like Dinkle himself is like this really interesting character. He's a fantastic actor, but he's playing a very serious role. And does he play that role the way that we want him to? I mean, a lot of times I feel like that role itself is like a problematic role because he's saying very stereotyped things, and he has to say them very genuinely, very serious.
He is exposition bot. Like the only reason that guy is there is basically to take the replacement for menu text.
Yes.
Like that's all he's doing.
That's right, but it's really hard for a serious actor to take that role and to do it the way he did. I feel like he got kind of a bad, a bad rap.
It doesn't even seem like a role to me. It just seems like that's,
Yeah, just come here and read these lines.
Yeah, do this.
Yeah.
Why get Dinkle then?
I mean,
Why?
surprise.
Peter Dinklage.
You've already completed it, right?
Just to clarify.
You've already completed it. Is this something you think you're going to keep playing? Because they clearly want people to be playing this for months and weeks
So it seems like beating the story is just like step one, so to speak. I'm curious right now just to see, you know, is something going to unlock at 20, you know, or are we just going to have to walk around, wander around, and see the raids? I want to see what the raids are. I want to see what these materials I'm picking up to craft stuff with are.
Have you not accessed the raids yet, or what's going on? Because of your level?
I don't know. I don't know where they're at either.
There's like strike missions, which you have to run with a fire team of up to 3 people, and those are on every planet. But the stuff that Bungie's mentioned about 6-player raids is sort of the phrase they've used. I haven't been able to see those. I haven't seen any of those.
Well, so to touch on that point, it's like Jeremy has gone back to the sewers, like in old Russia, where we've seen the skulls, the question mark guys, and he's like 15, 16, and there's still question mark skulls for him.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like one of those, like there's areas, little pockets. Like I see areas where there kind of looks like black smoke, almost like there is a way to get through there, but they're not letting you go through there now.
I'm pretty sure those are enemy closets.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
The game is full of monster closets.
That is where the monsters come from. That's the darkness. I mean, they're always talking about the darkness. I think like literally they're like, how do we just put a closet in this cave here? The darkness.
It's great. We need Jackie Estacado to turn up and start killing Italian mobsters.
Yeah.
Great.
No problem.
All right. Do you want to go play some?